Hello, it's me, Vanessa Lee. Thanks for popping in. Today I'm going to be taking care of my plants. I haven't watered them in a very long time. I've probably skipped a watering, so some of these plants aren't going to be happy with me. I'm going to show you the good, the bad and the ugly. But yeah, what I really wanted to tackle today is my plants in no drainage. So we're going to do those first. I also want to do a bit of dusting and just kind of like a bit of a spring clean, I guess, and just rearrange things. I'll see how far I get. But another problem that I have at the moment is that I ran out of fertilizer. It's not such a big deal because generally in the winter I'm not using fertilizer so much, but with the plants that are in semi-hydroponic, they do need fertilizer. So I might go round and put some additional pellets in to the plants that I can see that maybe aren't getting enough nutritional value from the water at the moment. Okay, I'm going to stop waffling on, spin the camera around and show you. Actually, no, I don't need to spin the camera around. I'm just going to raise it up. Let's do that. Yeah, so I'm just going to water this guy first. Lots is happening at the moment, which I'm really proud about. This was its latest leaf, which is quite strappy and long, as you can see. I'm very happy. And I can see that there's a new one coming. I'll zoom in so that you can see that. In here at the moment, I'm actually using, no, this is plain water. Yeah, this is just plain old water. So yeah, we've got sphagnum moss here on the top. And then I've got my chunky aeroid mix with some tree fern fibre. It is quite barky as well, so the water will drain through quite quickly. And I do have some lecker balls at the bottom of this pot, which is basically holding up the soil so that there's like a reservoir. So the lecker balls are basically creating a reservoir by keeping the soil above the water. So I will just go ahead and firstly I'm just going to like press into the sphagnum moss. You can put your whole finger in if you feel comfortable doing that. Now this plant doesn't actually feel, it's still, I can tell that there's still some moisture, at least on the top. And then the next thing I want to look for is humidity. So I think I can show you that on one of the other plants. So this is my little cutting, my little propagation from my Anthurium pallidiforum. And as you can see, there is humidity there in the pot. I hope you can see that. Let me just turn the light off. Maybe you can see it, I don't know. But there is, just there. Turn it back on again. So I won't be watering this one. I also like to go by the weight of the pot. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, but with this guy, I think I'm going to put this in the propagation bin. We're going to have a look at that as well. So here we go. I am going to just do a very light water. On top. And I'm not going to actually go in again just now. I'm going to leave it for a little while, see what drains down into the reservoir, and I'll come back in about 5 minutes or so. I'll just kind of carry on circulating and doing the other plants. So down here we've got another plant. I'll put you down. So I've got my Anthurium crystallinum right here. I'm just going to take this Ripsalis out of the way. I have a Ripsalis actually in no drainage. A lot of them are in drainage pots now, my Ripsalis, but this one's doing really well. This is my Ripsalis Waldiana, and she's kind of fluffy, and when I bought this plant she was tiny, like in the tiniest little pot. It's doing really well. I can see that there is a kind of light greenness about some of the little sprogs. So it might have like some nutritional issues. I'm hoping that it's not a pest. I can't imagine that the thrips would be that interested in this plant, but I will be watering this plant today, but I won't use the watering can because I really don't want water to go into the reservoir. I just kind of want to get like a nice measured amount of water all over the top. And yeah, let's have a look at these roots. It is looking fairly dry in there. I haven't watered this plant, I would say, for about 2 months, possibly longer. 2 months, yeah, I would say 2 months, because the last time I said I was going to water it, I didn't water it. And yeah, we can't keep doing that, can we? I'm going to remove this Hoya as well. So as I was saying in the beginning, I kind of ran out of fertilizer. I started using pellets, and actually I can see on this plant there are no pellets. So we're going to have to put some pellets on this guy. I'm just going to put you on the box for now. And I'm just going to go and grab my little box. Yeah, she's not looking happy. We've got a lot of yellowing leaves, and I can show you quite a few Hoyas that this is happening to. And I don't feel that the plants are responding well to the pellets. So let me show you. These are slow release fertilizer. And I think maybe I should try soaking them. If you do have any tips on slow release fertilizer, do let me know. But I will sprinkle some of these on right now, and we'll just see. Some of the Hoyas have reacted fairly okay, to be honest, and then there's just like 1 or 2 that are not too happy. Okay, I'll put a lot in. But yeah, okay. So I think you can see pretty much how much fertilizer I've just put in there. Can you? Yeah, I'll put quite a lot in. And it is all on one side. So let me just try and sprinkle that around. Yeah, so I actually had the day off yesterday, and I was meant to film yesterday, but I ended up FaceTiming with my daughter, and it was just the best. It was just like a day of hanging out, and I really needed that. So yeah, I'm kind of doing this a little late. I hope that this video is going to be ready for Sunday. I'm sure I can do it. So yeah, just a little light water on the top. To be honest, this plant is in a drainage pot, and normally I would just put the water into the pot. I wouldn't really go through, I wouldn't water on the top kind of thing. Let me show you. And there is just a little bit of water in the bottom of the pot, so I'm just going to leave that. And yeah, this is a semi-hydroponic plant. So with my semi-hydroponic plants that, you know, they're not in soil, then I've either used leca or pond, I do rely on the reservoir. I do like to see water in the reservoir. And then that way I just know that I can just leave them alone for like 10 days pretty much. Take you away. Let's get this big guy out. Oof. So I recently repotted this one, and I can see something growing. I'm hoping that that's a leaf. It's kind of looking like a leaf, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I was meant to actually water this plant about 2 days ago, but I knew I wanted to film this and just show you how I kind of you know, how I water my plants. So again, another anthurium. The anthuriums definitely get treated slightly differently. And I'm just going to drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Just get the whole surface nice and moist, like that. But as you can see, it's not, I'm not pouring, I'm just kind of drizzling it on. And you can see the soil is so chunky, and there's a lot of air, it's fast draining soil. Oh my gosh, speak girl. Yeah, it's fast draining soil because it's so chunky. So you can see that the water actually went through quite quickly, and it's now in the reservoir. Hopefully the light's not kind of bleaching that out. And I'm happy with the amount of water that's in that reservoir. And I'm just going to leave that as it is. We're going to try and get this back on the shelf. But before I do that, I do want to dust the shelves. So I'm going to put this in the kitchen for now. But yeah, I'm really hoping for a brand new leaf. We are still kind of going through thrips, although I've not seen anything flying. This leaf looks like the most dehydrated. But to be honest, it's always been a little bit folded anyway. And then we've got this one here, also looking a little bit dehydrated, folded in on itself. But it was only recently that I repotted this plant, and I did a cutting as well. So there's less roots in there. It's still, you know, it's going through a little bit of, possibly a little bit of a shock. But I do believe that this plant will recover quite nicely, as long as it doesn't get thrips. Yeah, okay. So this guy I want to put into the humidity bin. There is a tiny bit of humidity in there, so I am just going to go ahead and put it straight in there. I've just made a mess, haven't I? What happened? What happened? Just going to do that. So this is a bottom cut from my luxurians, Anthurium luxurians. And look, we've got a growth. We've got a little growth point. I'm so proud. So proud of that. And I think, do I see something else on the other side? Let me get in there. I'll do a little arrow. But yeah, look at that. Very happy. Who else is doing well? Nothing happened. Oh, this one. We're still waiting for that leaf to come out. Still unsure of what this is. It could be a number of anthuriums, but there's two that I think that this one might be. It's either my hybrid, which was Azara ex Michelle ex Bassier. Could be that one. Or it could be, what was the other one I had to chop up? It could be a pappy. There's one other plant that I did have to chop up. I just can't remember the name of it right now. Okay, so that's that dude. This is the bottom cut from my anthurium. Ooh, she's not looking so great. Yeah, this is the bottom cut of my anthurium. Ooh, crystallinum super silver, the one that I just watered. It's not looking so great there on the top, I've got to say it. Well, it's not soggy though. Or, I do see some springtail in there. I don't know if you can see that. And that just kind of tells me something is rotting. Might take this one out and just like keep a closer eye on it. This one I am a little concerned. Another one that I'm unsure of what it is. I can't actually remember the other plant that I plonked in here. I do need to repot this and probably put it into a bigger pot, to be honest. But we've got a growth point. So any day now I'll be able to tell you which anthurium that is. So that's that dude. Anyway, trying to make some space. Got a little forgetti eye. And actually I took one of my forgetty eyes out. It's in the kitchen. It's actually doing really well. Every day I'm kind of just keeping an eye on it. And yeah, it seems to be fairly happy. I'm just taking off the Cataphil because in the humidity box that's just going to get all soggy. I can see like a little growth on the back there. So that's fun. This one's very moist, so that one definitely does not need water. And this one's sat in a pool of water, so that's probably not needed. I'm just going to dump this. Yeah, so this one is an Anthurium pappy. I'll put the full name up because I don't know how to say it properly. And I've got quite a few of these. I know that one of those unidentified anthuriums is also a pappy. Who else can I show you? I've got another pappy. She's looking great. I'm almost tempted to take this one out of the box, but I just want to wait and see a new leaf coming, and then I'll take it out. Well, I'll kind of do it gradually. But yeah, she is beautiful. Look at the back of the leaf as well. Bright red. Really stunning. Okay, let's plunk you in. And I'm just going to put this guy in. I'm not going to water it. There's enough humidity inside the pot and also inside the box. There's plenty of space in there. Okay, that's that. Nothing else too exciting to show you in there. I mean, a lot of my Hoyas are kind of in no drainage, so all my Hoyas, or except one, are in semi-hydroponic. I like to use pon with my Hoyas. Again, I can see humidity here, so I'm not going to water that guy. Been having a lot of problems with yellowing leaves. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. It could be down to the lack of fertilizer. I can only see one little pellet in there, so I'm going to add some more to this guy as well. But this time I'll do it instead of pouring it. That didn't really work for me last time. So yeah, just plonk some in. Maybe I will just give this a little bit of water just so I can get the pellets, kind of activate the pellets. Let me get my little squeezy bottle. So yeah, with plants that are in like really small vessels, I like to use this little squeezy bottle. So I'm like literally just adding the water directly onto the fertilized pellets. But I'm not going to go too crazy because of the yellowing leaves. Now, I mean, the yellowing leaves might just be a nutritional thing, or it could be a pest. What's that? No, that's perlite. But yeah, this is my Hoya Chioki. It's full of peduncles, but to be honest, even in the summer I was kind of struggling with yellowing leaves, so it could have a pest. I'm tempted to get one of those magnifying glasses that you can really like see right up in there, and hopefully if there is anything it will detect it. But yeah, a little bit worried about this guy. Very tempted to separate it from the rest of the Hoyas. Next, who else do I want to show you? Oh, another unhappy Hoya. And I didn't actually, oh, one of the leaves just fell off. But yeah, a lot of yellowing leaves. And I don't see any pellets. What is going on here? So yeah, I'm just going to plonk some more pellets in. So yeah, I didn't actually complete what I was telling you about my Hoyas that are in these little plastic pots. So although it's kind of in a no drainage situation where I have still again put lacquer balls at the bottom and then the pond is held above, but I've also doubled the pots. So this one doesn't have any holes, but this one does. So if I do overwater, I can get rid of the water. So this one's more of a self-watering pot than the pots that the anthuriums are in, because they're completely glass, they have no holes in them. But it's just like a really easy way to create a self-watering pot without the expense, because those pots are really expensive. And it's just a method, isn't it? It's just a matter of keeping a reservoir that's going to be below the soil or the substrate that you're using. So yeah, this one is my Hoya Matilde Splash. Oh, we can see new leaves though. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah. So I mean, it is growing, but it's also just throwing out a lot of yellowing leaves. Hopefully I've got to the bottom of it by just adding some more pellets, and also I just hope I'm not overwatering. But that's that dude, and it just sits in this glass vessel that needs to hold a candle. It looks quite cute in there. Okay, next. Oh, another plant that I can see the humidity in the bottom. If you can see that. I'm not going to water this one. I'm not playing any games with this guy. But everything seems to be going well. I don't see any new leaves. Yeah, this little shoot in the bottom still hasn't actually done anything. I'm just wondering if I should put more pellets in this one. I'm just not seeing... Oh, I can see like one pellet right here. But yeah, I think we need more in there. So I'm going to do that. But I think later today I do need to go out and do some shopping, and I think I'm going to try and just pick up, you know, like a fertilizer, generic one, like that you find at the supermarket, because, you know, it's better than nothing. But yeah, I'm not going to water this guy, but this is my what am I saying? This is my Hoya Polynera Bourgette. And yeah, it's got like, it's meant to have like white splashes to it. Some of the leaves are quite splashy, but I've noticed that now that I've put it into lower lighting, it's getting its splash back, which is great. We love that. Okay. I'm going to stick to this shelf because I actually just need to get everything off of it. I'm going to check out. Oh, we've got a new leaf. Nobody can see. There, she's tiny. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Oh, this was the dusty one. Yeah, we need to dust this plant. Yeah, this one is my Hoya Australis Lisa, and oh, I'm obsessed with this plant. Obsessed. The leaves are so gorgeous. Like the print on the leaf and the thickness of the leaf also. How shiny the leaves are. It's very waxy Hoya. And although this one's never bloomed for me, she still remains one of my favourites. These are definitely new leaves here. This little cluster here, so cute. I actually don't stare at this plant so much these days. And it's not because I don't love her, it's just, I guess what I'm looking at mostly is thrip infested plants and trying to get to grips with that. I recently had to put my Syngonium albo into the bedroom alone. It's alone in there. It's very cold in there also. And yeah, that was quite sad, because it's one of my oldest plants that I've been struggling. I mean, to be honest, I've never understood that plant, and I'm amazed that it's still around, to be honest, because to this day I'm still trying to figure it out. But it just kind of chugs along, and some weird kind of damage on this leaf. I might actually cut these 2 leaves off. I'll try and zoom in so that you can see. Actually, I'll cut them off and then you can look at them and just show you. I mean, it's unlikely that it was burnt by the light. That looks like some sort of pest. Let me know if you ever seen that kind of marking on your Hoyas. This is the first time I've seen it. Yeah, it's not looking good. Well, I'm going to do a little bit more investigation with that. Loads of roots. This one's in a drainage pot, and it's definitely got more than enough fertilizer in there. I do think I might water this one, because I honestly can't remember the last time I did that. Just going to use this squirty bottle. Like so. Just because I want to activate the pellets that are in there. But I mean, I did kind of manage to dig some of them a little further down into the substrate, which is good. Okay, I actually want some more water so that it will sit in the bottom of the pot. Let's see. Take this glove off. Yeah, there's about 1 centimetre of water in the bottom of this pot now, so that one's good to go. Plunk you down. This is the remnants of my Begonia maculata. This is all that I have left. I had a massive plant of this, but it's doing really well. You can see that there's roots in the bottle. Hopefully you can see that. I do that. Yeah, it's doing okay. We're still getting a little bit of crisping. What I do want to try and keep this one in water, like my Syngonium, because it is a thirsty plant, and in the past I was growing it in pure sphagnum moss and it grew beautifully. But the problem with the sphagnum moss, of course, when I got the thrips, was that was just like the perfect little home for them, which is why I lost a lot of this plant. So I do want to continue growing this in water, but what I've noticed is the water needs to be quite high up. As soon as it goes a little bit lower, even though the roots are below, it starts getting crispy. We start getting these kind of crispy edges, which is kind of weird. So yeah, an experiment in the making. I'm still learning stuff about the begonia now that it's in a completely different substrate. I'm going to have to relearn everything that I had taught myself or that I'd learned when I discovered sphagnum moss. But yeah, let me know, guys. Have you grown any begonias completely hydroponic in pure water? What were your results? Yeah, I want to know. I want to know all the things. I need this thing of water just in case. Right, take you off. We have another Hoya. Got another Hoya, also in semi-hydroponic. We've got the lacquer balls at the bottom so you can see how dark it is. I don't see any humidity in this pot. I am going to sprinkle some more fertilised pellets. Sorry, this is my Hoya Parasitica, black margin or dark margin. So the leaves are absolutely gorgeous. They're actually quite dusty at the moment, so I'll probably give those a quick dust. But another very waxy, thick leaf with these gorgeous black margins around the edge. And off this one flowers very quick. Oh, it flowered very quickly for me. When I bought this plant, it was tiny, and within 2 or 3 months of owning it, it bloomed. The blooms for me aren't the most impressive. They're very waxy looking, and they're white, like a kind of yellowy white. Maybe it's just because, I don't know, maybe I'm just not mad about yellow flowers. I'm not entirely sure why I don't rave about the flowers on the blooms on this one. I mean, you know, they come often, and yeah, it's a beautiful plant. It's probably one of the plants, if I were to downsize, that I might find a new home for. Although when it blooms, there are like so many clusters of, I should try and throw up a photo if I have one at hand, but because the blooms are all quite clustered close together and they tend to come out at the same time, it is quite a pretty. No, I'm not getting rid of this one. What am I trying to say? Seriously, like I'm ever going to get rid of this plant. I think in my head, I just kind of know that since I've started, well, now that I'm back at work and it's in a completely different field to before I worked with plants. So, you know, it was kind of the perks that I got from that job, obviously being able to use my staff discount on soil and all of those things. Even the plants, I would get a discount, and so it was kind of just felt easier taking care of them. I don't know what it is. Whereas now I guess I'm just distracted. Like I'm now, like I was cutting up patterns last night. I just couldn't help myself. I forgot to film. Well, I didn't forget to film. I was just, you know, it was very spontaneous and I just wanted to kind of jump into it. And I was just sorting out all my fabrics. And yeah, there's just other things that I guess I'm using my time, and they're getting a little bit ignored. But luckily, most of the plants that I have, I don't need to water very often. Okay, where's that water gone? So let's just give it some water. I'm going to try not to be too heavy, but ooh, she says. I just really want to get those pellets nice and moist. And I'm definitely going to use the reservoir. Oh, okay. So you can see it rose quite quickly, but luckily the leckables are quite high. It's probably a little higher than I would have liked, to be honest, because it's here. I would have preferred to it have been a little bit lower. I might come back a little bit later and try and pour some out, but I'm not too worried. But yeah, she's a beauty. She's a beauty. Who is next? Take those down. Next, this is my Hoya Woyetii, also one of my favourite blooms. It's like a burgundy bloom. It smells delicious. I think that's the one that kind of has a bit of a chocolatey smell. I can't quite remember. Or is it patchouli? I can't remember. But it has a really beautiful scent, and I love its dark borders, like little pea pods but with little burgundy borders. Stunning, stunning plant. Again, had to go in and use, I've actually got some pellets in this one, but actually I will need to repot this at some stage because there are a lot of roots hanging out of the bottom. So those roots will now be sitting in the reservoir, and that's not what I want. So really, I should probably just plonk some leca balls in the bottom of this pot, and then this pot will have to like stand a little higher. But yeah, I'm just going to go in and water on the top. Like that. But yeah, this plant is going to start getting unhappy with me. And actually, I should write a little note to myself that I need to repot this guy. Let me get in there. But yeah, what a beauty. Full of peduncles. It's just crazy how many peduncles are on this thing. Okay, let's move along. Otherwise, we're never going to get this dusting done. Yeah, so I've got my Hoya linearis here. We can see that there's pellets in the top there. And I'm just going to go ahead and water on the top. It's in a no drainage pot, but I will just leave a little bit of water in the bottom because I have put leca balls at the bottom of this pot to serve as a reservoir. And there's definitely enough water in that pot. The blooms again are gorgeous on this one. The scent is like lemon, and every year that this blooms, the scent becomes stronger and stronger, which is just very interesting. Not looking particularly happy. To be honest, the one in the hallway, which is, I would imagine, would be struggling more than this one, it's because it's so cold out there, is much happier. And I do know that this Hoya does prefer to be in cooler temperatures. So I might put this one maybe in the kitchen, because the one in the kitchen's looking good. Okay, we're getting there. Ooh, she's as light as a feather. This is my Hoya crassipetiolata. Absolutely love this plant. One of my, never blooms, but I just love the foliage. I love how bushy it has become. And oh yeah, the leaves are very soft. So this one's definitely very thirsty. We've got pellets in there already. So yeah, just kind of doing a, oh sorry, completely off camera. The water's actually just like balancing on the top there, so it's definitely a very thirsty plant. I'll come back to this one. I'm just going to allow that to drain. It's obviously draining quite slowly because it's become, what do they call, what's that word when, okay, yeah, so it will just take its time to go down. Let me put this one away. One more plant. And this is my Ripsalis paradoxa minor, doing very, very well. I try not to overwater this plant because I've learnt my lesson. The roots are looking fabulous. They do not look dry or anything like that. Let's see how heavy it feels. To me, it feels like there is some water in, there is some moisture in this pot, so I'm not going to water this one. I'm going to leave it be. But yeah, one of my favourite Ripsalis. Very interesting. I know that a lot of people do not like Ripsalis because of the aerial roots, oddly. The aerial roots are looking very dry. But yeah, we're not watering this one. I'll probably wait another week and then I'll come back and we'll see if it needs water. Okay, the shelves are empty now, thank goodness, apart from the Pallidiforum, which I'm not going to move. Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like, oh, I've got Christmas lights on. I definitely feel like my plants are in kind of like a survival mode. I haven't seen any thrips flying around, but something's going on. I mean, maybe it's just winter. Ooh, hello. So yeah, I just kind of want to keep on top of all the dusting, and the same with the plants. And I do think I need to do that window, because whenever there is a nice sunny day, I want to take full advantage of, you know, the photosynthesizing, allowing the plants to get the most out of it. Now, I really didn't think I was going to get my act together to do this. In fact, I feel like I'm always saying stuff like that. But yay, I'm doing it. I'm actually cleaning. I've actually forgotten one Ripsalis, which is at the back. So I'm going to grab that and show you it. Once I'm done here. Really nice clean shelves, dust-free plants. Every night I'm looking for thrips, and I prefer to do that when it's dark and all the lights have gone off, and I'll come in with a flash torch and see to them in that way. It's just easier to find the pests. They're a little more active, actually, I think, when they think you're not watching. But I'm always watching. Okay, bottom shelf. Oh, I didn't show you the really sad plant. And this one is really breaking my heart. It really is. And I'm at a loss. I honestly don't know what to do with this guy. So I recently gave it a new soil, and it still looks really unhappy. It's like, look at these leaves. I mean, I just don't know what to do with this plant. I've got a feeling I might lose this one. And I've had it for 4 years. It's an old one. I've had it for so long and kept it alive, even though I really didn't often know what I was doing with it. I just would go by the weight of the pot and see if it needed watering. And I mean, it's full of water right now. It has enough water. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't see pests on it, but at the same time, the leaves they're like Velcro, so they're just full of dirt from when I was repotting it. It's very hard to remove it. She looks awful. I'm finding it very difficult to look at this plant. I might have to put this somewhere, like in a propagation bin maybe, and we'll see if it likes a little humidity, and maybe that'll help it grow better. I'm going to keep plodding along with it. It's one of my favourites. It's an old school plant, but yeah, I just can't actually believe where we are right now. Okay, the shelves are nice and clean. I'm going to start putting things back on the shelves, but I do want things to be a little more, I don't know, I just want them kind of better curated maybe. So let me just move this. Oh, that's a little bit better. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to put things back on the shelves. I want things to be like less cluttered. So I will be removing some of the plants, and then some of them will be going back on. Actually, I want to start with the crystallinum because she's a big girl. And I want to find like a really nice spot for this guy. It's probably going to go back on the shelf that it was on, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to put you back here. Oh, hello. No, no, no. Okay. Sorry, right in the way. So yeah, that's kind of the only place that it's hanging over. So yeah, that's gonna have to be its spot. Right, I definitely want my Woyeti eye up here. And I'm thinking I might put her at the back, like there-ish. I quite like that. And I'm thinking I might actually put this guy further up so that we can see it more, because she's a beauty. How's that looking? Is that pretty? It's okay. I should bring you forward. Oh, that's better. That's feeling a little bit more balanced. Yeah, I think 2 per shelf is my limit. And then things like this, I guess I could just squeeze it back in, but it'll go back last. Yeah, happy with that. Now I just need something cute on the bottom. Maybe I'll put a little cluster of plants down there. I'm thinking, because I actually want to go and buy a new pin board so that I can put some of the Hoyas in the kitchen. Obviously I don't have the board right now, so, but I will be selecting the plants that will be going. And well, actually, let me show you the plants that are in the kitchen. Let's take this off. So excuse the mess. Yeah, in the kitchen I've got my Anthurium forgetii. It's been out for 4 days now, maybe a bit longer. It's doing really well. It's definitely much cooler here because they're right next to the window. I've got my other linearas, so you can see it's really like quite bouncy looking in comparison to this one, not looking quite so bouncy. I'll probably put this one in a like a hammocky thing. What do they call those things? And I'll probably hang it up here like on one of these things. And I also have my Anthurium warwickwienum, which seems to be doing well. This leaf still insists on pointing to the sky, but that's fine. But yeah, she's looking really pretty. And we've got a new leaf coming. So yeah, no complaints here. This Rhipsalis I did have in no drainage, recently repotted it into a drainage pot. We are still getting some droppage, but I'm still very happy with this plant. I don't believe anything needs watering in here. The stuff in the kitchen generally doesn't get ignored because I spend a lot of time in here. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to show you the forgetii, which I am tempted to put on the shelf, but I do know that when I put it on that side of the room before, it reacted quite badly. So we're going to leave that guy there for now. But yeah, I am thinking of putting the pin board. See, we've got like a grow light up there. So I'm thinking of putting a new one here. So I will select a bunch of plants that I can put over there. I'm actually just going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. So let's tackle this lot. Actually, I've got some plants, another plant that I'm going to show you that's looking pretty miserable. And that's my top cutting of the Monstera albo. It's just the 2 bottom leaves. And I'm wondering it's because the 2 bottom leaves are actually submerged in the soil. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, I mean, this leaf is still above the soil, but I don't know what that's all about. It's in fresh new soil. Let me just have a look and see if there are any pests. I do find it difficult to find the pests on the albos. I think for now I'll probably just chop the leaves off, because it's not like they're gonna go back to green again. So that's that one. And I'm gonna cut this one as well. And hopefully it will perk up. Let's have a look. Feels nice and heavy, so it definitely doesn't need any soil. Let's put it down here for a minute. Oh, here we go. So yeah, it's just kind of a bit odd that the leaves are pointing downwards, but yeah, hopefully summer's soon coming and it will get a lot happier. The latest leaf, that almost full white leaf, is actually doing really well. We've got double fenestration on that one compared to all the other leaves. It's just on one side. So it's maturing, it's doing well. That was the first leaf after I did the chop. And you'll be able to see the top part of the plant is here. Okay, another anthurium. This is my Anthurium Lux. Yeah, it's got a missing leaf. One of my Hoyas fell on this plant and ripped off that leaf. The back of the leaf actually isn't looking too amazing. Can you see that there's kind of these yellow, it looks almost bacterial actually. But the good news is there is like a little growth. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see that just there. There's 2 little shoots actually, so I don't know. Hopefully one of those will be a leaf, but I'm very happy to see that. Now, looking at the soil at the bottom, it does look fairly moist. There is a little condensation. So I'm actually not going to water this one today. I think I'm going to leave this one. But I am a little worried that the vessel is too big for the plant. So we might have to do some repotting. Maybe an anthurium day one time soon. Okay, so this is the Hoya that I was talking about that I have in soil. Oh, lost a leaf. Yeah, I've got this one in soil, chunky aeroid mix. I do think I put some tree fern fibre in there. Not that it's really made, it really didn't need such bougie soil. This is my Hoya Crimson Queen. It's one of the easiest Hoyas that I have. It blooms very easily. I did get this plant and it was already quite a large plant. It was on a trellis and I took it off the trellis and I chopped it up. So although, yeah, so it was already quite a mature plant, so that could be a reason why it bloomed so quickly. Let me know, guys, if do you have the Crimson Queen and what has been your experience if you did grow it from a smaller plant. Now, this is another one that I've been noticing. I've been getting yellowing leaves. I did change its lighting so that maybe it was kind of like the leaves at the back that were possibly not getting any light. So I did change, I pulled it forwards, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down here so that it's got the light kind of more around it and it will sit on its own. I'm just going to try and clean some of these leaves a little bit because they're looking so dusty. I should actually start at the top. But yeah, she's a beautiful plant. I love these leaves when I mean, obviously this is the part of the plant that really needs as much light as possible. I mean, the white leaves are definitely drawing the energy from the greener leaves. But yeah, it's just nice little contrast. It's what makes this plant quite special, I think. And then of course the halo around the leaf. Again, a very thick waxy leaf, so it can retain quite a bit of water. Definitely don't want to overwater this one, but I can feel that the pot is quite light. So we will be watering this guy. So I'm going to get a little bit of dusty. I'm going to make you look pretty. Okay, that's that one done. Where's the watering can? So sometimes with this plant I will use a orchid fertilizer, which I do have some of, but it's not really showing me any new leaves, so I'm just going to refrain from using fertilizer at the moment. This pot actually, although it's a no drainage pot, I did use my soldering iron. I think you can see that I put some holes at this level where my fluffy finger is, all the way around, and yeah, that way I don't overwater the plant. I can see a little bit of water going into the bottom, so I'm going to leave that for a little while. I'll come back and we'll see if I need to top it up again. But yeah, I think I'm going to put it down here, if it will go under. Oh no, it's not going to go under. Can I make you a little bit lower? Oh, that's a pity. Maybe I'll put this one in the kitchen, I don't know. I don't know if I want it back there. Let's take these things away. My books. I showed you this guy earlier. My Polynura. This is my Sigulatus. No, it's not Alice River, but can you see we've got another kind of browning leaf? That could just be that it needs some water. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yes. It's light as a feather, but it's such an interesting leaf. Is that? What is that? Can you see that? Okay, no, it's not a mealybug, but yeah, that's the first leaf that I've noticed that looks like it's going to croak it, but it could just be that it needs some water. So, do we have pellets in here? I might add some more pellets as well. So let's do that. Oh my goodness, it was so windy last night. It's kind of scary when the winds get so high, especially since I live on the top floor. And then earlier today, also very windy. I was a little worried that you wouldn't be able to hear me above the wind. It was that windy, it was crazy. What are they calling this one? You know how they always name these windy things. But yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I have to be very careful because I'm actually using the wrong thing. Yeah, this is just much easier to use this to control how much water I'm putting in. And I'm just making sure that those pellets are getting nice and moist. I'm just going to wait a little bit. Okay, I don't see anything in the bottom yet. Is there anything? Anything? It's feeling quite heavy. I'm just going to leave this one be for a while. And I'm going to plonk this in the kitchen. Actually, no, I'll just put it here. Right. This is my Crassipetio splash. So it's another Hoya in a drainage pot. And actually I'd never put the water on the top because it just seems to prefer it when I put it in the bottom, but obviously I do want those pellets to activate, so I am going to go in on the top like that. Just see what drips out. A little bit more. Okay, that's that one done. Really pretty. We've been through it, this one, and I almost croaked it, but it's just doing so well these days. I'm looking forward to the summer. See what it's going to do next. Because you saw my other Crassy Petiolata. Let me go and grab it. Yeah, I'm really hoping it'll get nice and full and bushy like this one. This one still feels very light. Let's just put a little bit more in. So we still have a space at the bottom of the shelf there, so I do still need to find something really, really amazing to go on that shelf. I might just put a cluster of Hoyas at the bottom. Oh, what's low? My audio transmitter is low. Okay, so I might need to charge and come back. Oh my goodness. Let me just carry on for now. Oh, this one feels really heavy. This is my Carnosa compactor, yet another Hoya. I can see that there is moisture in the bottom there, so I won't be doing anything with this guy. Remove that. Two more Hoyas. This one actually feels, no, I'm going to water both of these. I'm not seeing any condensation in the pots. This is my Erythrina. Absolutely adore the tips of this leaf. Stunning. Was it this one that bloomed? I think it was this one that blooms. It's like a little fluffy tutu looking bloom. Quite like kind of like a vintage one, like a little bit dishevelled, but gorgeous. This one is my Hoya flagellata, and oh my gosh, so fluffy. I don't know if you can see that fluff. Oh, it's this leaf that I want you to look at, this one here. See if I turn it round, you can see. But it's so fluffy. I just can't seem to get in there. Can you see that fluff? She's so pretty. And to the touch as well, just really fluffy. So cute. Where's my water? I'm definitely in need of some water. So again, I'm just making sure that those pellets get nice and moist. So you can see some of the Hoyas don't seem to be too upset by having different fertilizer. And it's probably the thicker ones maybe that are showing less dramatic responses. Possibly. So yeah, I might put this one down here. Just put a cluster of Hoyas down there. So a little bit of water. Like that. And then I'll put you down there. Yeah, that could work. I'll show you just now. Okay. Oh wow. This is my Hoya rotundiflora. And I can see a lot of new leaves. Oh, sorry. New leaves here. Really cute. So, but the leaves have been looking a little unwell, like a coming out in like a kind of unusual yellowy green. I'm not too happy with that. There's definitely pellets in there. Can you see? So I don't feel I need to add any more pellets, and I also can see some condensation. So I don't know, am I going to water this one? Actually, you know what, I think I might. And I'm going to add some more pellets as well. Okay, I mean, look, you've seen me water a bunch of these plants already. And since my mic is on something like 10%, I think I'll go off and charge. But I'm just going to take the last of the plants off whilst you're here. Yet another Hoya. So yeah, I think I do want to put the Hoyas back. I think they were happier in the kitchen. So I will be putting the pin board in there. But I quite like having the pin board down there. I'll do like a little B-roll. But yeah, we've got Hoya Curtisii, looking very splashy. Also got like a autumny kind of vibe going, but we're also suffering just recently from getting yellowing leaves. And then this one, oh, is my mic still? Yeah, it is. And then this one is my mini bell, yeah, which has also bloomed, but I think this is a plant that I would like to donate or sell or whatever. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got the pin board here. This is Breviolata. This one, as you can see, has got new leaves coming. So it's my Wyetii, the variegated one. Very happy to see that. I saw that this morning. We've got the Loheri, which has also got some new leaves. My Curtisii. No, sorry. This is my this is Crocanianum-esque Super Silver Splash. Loads of peduncles growing very nicely now. It was a much bigger plant. I had to chop this guy up because of mealybug. This is my... Oh, this is actually a Carnosa Hawaiian Red Royal. Beautiful. Well, the bloom is it's like a big burgundy bloom. It is pretty, but I prefer... There's other blooms that I have that are burgundy that I prefer. So this could possibly be a plant that I might sell. It currently has 2 peduncles. Got one there. And the other one is there. I don't know if you can see that. And they both... Oh, we've got a third one actually. Right in there. And yeah, 2... Oh, we've got another one here. I know that 2 of these peduncles have bloomed, probably that one and this one. I don't know, I'd have to look back at some photos. Who else haven't I introduced you to? Oh, and then lastly, this is my Hirschlinkiana, the variegated one. Really pretty when the leaves first come out. They look pink, so cute. And really loves the highlight. Yeah, she loves the highlight, this one. And quite clearly, because of the leaves being so white, she needs that. So, yeah, I love this little guy. I'd like to see this get bigger. Definitely don't want to get rid of this one. If I were to get rid of any of the plants here, it would be this one. Maybe the Wyetii, just because I prefer the darker one. And possibly this guy, because I'm struggling a lot with this one. But it is nice to see that it has some new leaves finally. Can you see them? There. Okay, let me charge this mic. Okay, so I did complete the dusting over here, and I have put some of the plants back. I'll put in some B-roll because I did a little bit of filming on my iPhone whilst this thing was charging. But yeah, it's looking better visually. I'm kind of a little bit happier. Let me show you what I've done. So yeah, this is the tall shelf. Just looking slightly more, well, just slightly less cluttered. I did put quite a few Hoyas down here. These 2, this one at the front here and this one, I do plan on selling those or donating them. And then over here on this shelf, I did end up putting the philodendron fuzzy petiole down here. But yeah, it's just looking kind of slightly less cluttered, although pretty much all the same amount of plants are back on this shelf. And then up the top I put the two Ripsalis together. Hopefully it'll prefer this space where it's at. I do need to water this Monstera albo at some stage. I'll probably do that. Let's see how heavy it is. Ooh. Okay, I could probably get away with another 2 or 3 days with that guy. So I'll probably put that in the shower along with another plant that I have on a moss pole. And then down here, I have my propagation box under these lights. And I will go ahead and bring over my Monstera albo, but I do want to kind of just raise it up a little bit. So let me see if I can grab something so that I can do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it up on this. Scoop you over. Scoop you back. And there she is. Okay. Not bad. Let me show you. So yeah, it's getting some light, and that looks actually a lot better. Like with the wicker pot and then the wicker baskets, it looks a little bit better than before. Oh my goodness, I did it. Oh, but there's still plenty of other plants that I need to take care of. Let me turn the camera around again. Yeah, I still have all the plants in the hallway to do. We've got plants on the other side of the room. Oh, I didn't show you the kitchen, so I will show you the kitchen. The kitchen's looking really lovely. So I put the Hoya Crimson Queen in there, the Forgetii up there, got a couple of other plants. Yeah, we're going to go and have a look at that. But yeah, I'm very pleased with this. Apart from the two Hoyas at the bottom that I definitely want to remove, I'm not too happy about them. I don't know, they're just not my favourite. But yeah, everything else is looking very cool. Let me show you the kitchen. So here's the kitchen. I put the Hoya linearis here. So it's just hanging out in the kitchen now. It'll get a lot more humidity. It's a lot cooler in here. We'll see what happens. I mean, this one is responding so nicely to being in this environment. I put my Hoya Mathilde up there. Hopefully it'll start behaving better, to give it a water as well. We've seen these guys, I pointed these out earlier, my two anthuriums. Do still need to do the Pubicalyx splash. Let's have a look actually. Yeah, dry as a bone. Need to do that. I'll probably do that a bit later. And then this one that I'm kind of a little bit suspicious of because of the constant yellowing leaves, I'm going to leave it here in the kitchen, keep an eye on it. And then of course, last but not least, the Crimson Queen is now under daylight, but also getting some light from the grow light that's all the way up here. Looking good. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm pleased that I tackled all that dust. There was a lot of dust going on. Yeah, winter, of course, I've got my heating on. I don't have windows open. And yeah, things do tend to get a little dusty. Next time you see me, I'll probably be cleaning this window because all the windows actually need cleaning. And we'll be out in the hallway because I do have quite a lot of plants out there that do need my attention. Yeah, I'm really pleased that I managed to get some time to water my plants with you guys, because normally I think I'm just watering 1 or 2 plants. This way you kind of get to see that because the plants all have quite similar watering habits, I can batch them together and get a lot of them watered at the same time. But also I'm always checking first to see if there's the weight of the pots is kind of like what I generally go by, unless they're in glass vessels, like a lot of the no drainage plants are in glass vessels, then it's very difficult to go by the weight. So I will kind of I'll put my hands on the top, because there's the soil that tends to trap in the humidity. With just the moss on the top, can get a kind of indication of what's going on. I will always look for humidity in the bottom of the pot, because that will just tell me, yes, the soil is actually still has enough moisture. And yeah, there's some plants that I most definitely rely on the reservoir, and I will make sure that those reservoirs are full. With the Hoyas, I will allow the water to go straight into the reservoir and fill. With the anthuriums, I'm really kind of just being more conscious about getting an even amount of water on the surface, and whatever drips into the reservoir is all good. But I don't like to fill the reservoirs. In fact, I can see one of them right now. No. The reservoir, I'm going to put into B-roll. The reservoir is only halfway full, and that's perfect for me. The leckables will wicker up any moisture that's needed for the soil, so I'm not too worried about the reservoir being low. Who else? Oh, I didn't actually show you how I water my Ripsalis. So for those of you that have been around for a while, you'll know that I love to experiment with my plants. And so obviously my videos are all about my experience. I'm not kind of fact checking. It's a very difficult hobby to kind of specify for every plant how to take care of them, because it really depends on your environment. My humidity today is at 61. The temperature of the room is 16 centigrade. In the summer it can get boiling hot in here, and I think as the lowest humidity would be around 35. So generally on a rainy day it can go as high as 80 in here in the winter and in the summer, because it rains a lot in the summer also. So yeah, I kind of think about that, and also the type of lighting makes a difference. It really is just trial and error, and it's just a matter of just finding things that work for you. The reason why I went down the whole no drainage situation was after looking at self-watering pots, and just kind of like, they're quite expensive and they're not particularly attractive. So, and I just hadn't found any self-watering pots that look visually stimulating for me, so I just preferred the glass vessels. I also liked to see the roots, so I like to see the soil. I like to see what's going on with the roots. Like with this one, this is my Ripsalis Waldiana, which I showed you a little earlier, but you can kind of see that the roots are ready for some water. They're looking a little dry. So yeah, I always use this. I experimented a lot with all of my plants when it came to no drainage. There are some plants that thrive. I find that my anthuriums absolutely love the no drainage. The Ripsalis is definitely more hit and miss. So I'm kind of watering this the same way as I would my anthurium. I just kind of want the surface to be a bit moist. I mean, ideally, I think misting this plant and watering it in that way would work well. I don't know, I've never done that, but I have an idea of, an idea? No, not an idea. I don't know. I just get a feeling that it would probably benefit from that. I don't know. I've just been caring for them this way. I've had all of my Ripsalis for 3 years, and some of them longer than that. And they all are very individual. They all like very different things. This one likes highlight. The Bachifleur, the Sarascula Bachifera that's up on the shelf there doesn't particularly like highlight, so it might not like it there. And then I've got another Ripsalis which I forgot to show you. Yeah, this guy, I absolutely love this Ripsalis. It's a Ripsalis Terres, what is it? Terres F Sarascula. Oh no, sorry, Copiliformis. It's a Ripsalis Terres F Copiliformis. And I love how whimsical it is. It's very jungly. It was doing very well in the kitchen, actually, with kind of low light. The spot that it's in now, I'll slap in some B-roll. It does get some daylight on it, and I quite like seeing that, but I'm not entirely sure if the plant's enjoying it. It's kind of trapped in this bottle. I got it as a cutting with absolutely no roots, and I actually managed to get this to root quite easily. It is in a kind of desert mix, but I think I did add some additional like perlite and pumice possibly, because it does look quite pumicey in there, and it's still got leckables at the bottom so that it can act as a reservoir. Don't really want to overwater this one too much, but I can't actually remember the last time I did it. And the soil is very hard, so the water's not going straight down, which tells me it has been some time. It's been a while. Okay, it's going in now, and you can kind of see it kind of dripping in. Now with this one, I do tend to leave some water in the bottom. So, you know, the Ripsalis for me, like I said, it's complete hit and miss. And it's only because I'm not going to water this guy for another 2 or 3 months. Like, I just don't plan on coming back. I've not filled it completely, but you can see like there's probably like a centimetre of water in there. But yeah, one of my favourites, but in the winter have been struggling a little bit with this guy. I hope it's going to make a comeback when spring arrives. I'm glad that I got a chance to actually talk about the Ripsalis that are in no drainage and the ones that are in drainage, and my experience with those two. Although they're from the same family, they are being treated differently. So far, so good. The cuttings, the one that I just showed you, I've had for maybe a year and a half, 2 years. So it's long enough for it to show me signs of distress if it really doesn't like being in a no drainage pot. But so far, so good. Loads of roots on that plant, really pleased to see that. It's always nice to kind of get up close and personal with individual plants, and I do find that I tend to do that more when I'm talking to you guys, especially right now with my life being a little hectic. Anyway, I need to go outside. The wind does seem to have calmed down a bit. I need to go out and get some food in my fridge, because I've been surviving off of junk food, like really bad food. So yeah, that's got to stop. Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me, or if it's your first time here, do hit the subscribe button. Oh, that actually reminds me, I've got some new subscribers. You guys are trickling in, which I'm just loving, so I just want to say a big thank you and welcome. Do hit the comments, and you know, we're a friendly bunch here, so yeah, spend some time in the comments. A lot of my old school subscribers that have been here from the very beginning know if as much as I do about plants, if not more, and have loads of tips and tricks which they're happy to share with all of you. So do spend some time in the comments, have a little read through, get a little banter going with some other people besides myself if you don't feel like chatting to me. Or if you're one of the shy ones, do leave me a little emoji just to tell me that you have just joined our little planty community, maybe leave me a flag, because I'm quite nosy. Leave me the flag of the country that you are following me from, and I will say hi back, most definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna go now before the weather gets any worse. Sending lots of love and light, and I'll see you here again very soon. All right, until then, bye.